Hello, and welcome to the deeper dive of Stage 3 resource design and the OER module flowcharts. This video is really designed for the curriculum writers who are ready to step up and start filling in their module flowcharts with open educational resources. If there's one takeaway from this whole video, it's the idea that resources are collected, curated, and created by the department or grade. This is really a shared process where you work together to find resources and share out what you do. We really recommend that you dedicate department time or grade level time throughout the year to sit there and say, okay, we're writing this course for this course. What are some of the fun activities / resources that we use, so that way we can collect all of those, curate them, and get them in. The curriculum writer is really responsible for organizing it and putting it all nice and neat in the curriculum writing folders. So let's dive in and get this started. Again, I will go to my drive, I'll hit the starred folder, and there's my course, and I open it up. At this point, if I'm ready to dive into open educational resources, I should have all my unit folders built out, my acquisition skills done, my standards and goals, everything in here is done. Maybe the assessments I'm still working on throughout the year. But now it's time to get in and actually dive into the module flowcharts. And just to show you the way we set up our Google Drive with this, now that we're ready to do OER, is if I scroll all the way down on the curriculum design, you can see we have our main folder, we have our units. Within the units, we have our UBD doc, and then we have our assessment bank, and then we're going to build out module folders. And if you look, it's department, course, unit, name of the module, right? And then it's like module 01, and then the name of that module. So then you can start to dive into that. So it's really quite simple to set up. All I want to do is open up any one of my units. So we're going to go unit 1. I'm going to create a folder. And again, if I go back to the hub, just to make sure I'm naming it correctly, it's department, right here, department, course, unit, module 01, and the name of the module. So it's department, course, right? Department, course, unit. So this is going to be unit 01. And then we put the dash module. So dash module 01. And if there is a name of the module, you could put it here. If there isn't a name of the module, that's fine. So that's module 01. Most units have 3 to 6 modules. So it all depends. So I make one folder. I can make another folder, and just in that name, just paste. It's still unit 01, but now it's module 02. And then a new folder, and it's still unit 01, but now it's module 03. Now, what I have to do is in each of these modules, I have to put a copy of the module flowchart. Again, that comes from our templates here in our resource design process here. So if I go to the resource design page, right, this is all the history stuff. But if I go to the process and overview, the template should be linked. Here's a sample of what it is. Oh, you know what? That's right. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I actually think it's on the home page for this, but I'm going to move it over there as well. Yeah, so curriculum design, resource design. Here is the OER module flowchart right there. So this is where you get that module flowchart. So if I click that, it's going to tell me to make a copy just like before. I make a copy. Just like before up here, we're going to just rename it right away. So the fake course, so I just call it course. You type your course name, you type your unit number, right? Your module number. And this is called the module flowchart. So that's perfect. Go to my little folder. go back, go to start. There's my course. I can go to Unit 01 because I just made it Unit 01, Module 1. Here's the Module 1 folder. Open that up, move it there, click OK, and it's in place. So now when I come back here and I open up Module 01, there it is. And from here, you can just make a copy of this and put it in your other modules, or you can keep going back to the site, but you'll need one of these in every single module. So the way OER works is pretty simple. What you have to do as a team, as a department or as a level, is you have to come up with 3 transition tasks. You have to come up with up to 5 learning activities, statements of what students should be able to do, and 1 skill-based assessment, almost like a quiz or a formative assessment. And then your job is to link all of those onto this module flowchart. For the skill-based learning objectives, the SWOT and the introduction and overview, especially this comes right from the acquisition skills for the unit document. So if you go into your acquisition skills, you pick out the ones that are specific to this module. So think of the unit as a unit, and the modules are like your individual concepts within the unit, right? So I'll put in my students will be able to and know, and I'll put those statements in, I'll put this in, and then I can start linking them out. What's important is, just like the UBD doc, anything you link on this module flowchart, you have to put a copy of it in the module folder and then link it from that copy. You don't want to link to things that are housed in your drive. They all get linked from here, right? And you want to name them accordingly. So again, course name, Unit 01, Module 01, this is the module flowchart. Or you might name it transition task number 1, transition task number 2, transition task number 3. Or you could name it resource 1, resource 2, resource 3, because it should follow the naming patterns in here. So these are your resources. These are your 3 transition tasks. This is when your 1 skills-based assessment. It's also important to note that these activities should be student-based activities. It can't just be a dump. So you don't just put a link to a website and be like, that's it. What a lot of people do is they link to a Google Doc that has the directions, and through those directions, it tells you what to do. Another common thing that I've seen people do is they link to a Google slide, and the first slide might have the directions, and the next couple slides have more information. I think the best thing to do is to show you some examples so you know what you're getting into, and then you should be good to go. So these get filled out throughout the year as you teach, as you're teaching, you're gathering resources. You have 1 year to gather them, and then the next year you teach from it and you update and modify and change as you teach. So let's just look at, a couple different ones. So here's a department I haven't gone to yet. Actually, let's go to 1819 because I think it was finished last year. So here we go, 1819. And let's go to a business course that was done at the high school. This course was done really, really well. So 1920, business coding for web page design. I open it up and you can see they have 5 units. Here's their acquisition skills. Here's their planned course cover sheet, right? That's all perfect. If I open up any one of these units, I have the UBD doc, plus I have the assessments and the answer keys right here. They're all linked together. And then if I open up a module, you will see all the things. And notice the naming: business coding for web page design, Unit 2, Module 1, learning resource. So that's a resource. This one is a learning resource. That's a learning resource. If I come down here, I might hit, there's a transition task. You can see it right there. So it's named appropriately. So if I open the module flowchart, every one of those documents is linked in here. So the SWOTs came right from the acquisition skills. The introduction and overview, you kind of take what you wrote from the unit and break it down a little bit more. And then let's just look at some of these. So, a transition task. If I open up the bell ringer and I open this up, you can see It's a set of directions. Use the link provided. Watch how designer Charlie Marie uses folders and subfolders to organize her design projects. Answer the questions below. So it's a real quick document that says what it is. Here are the questions. And if I click this link, it'll take me right to the actual video that they want us to watch. So here we go, and here's the video. So it's a great example of how everything is self-contained, right, filled out. Let's look at some of the resources, right? Notice this one says not OER. This one also says not OER. As we transition, there are some things that Garnet Valley pays for, and there's no reason not to put those things in. And if you mark them as not OER, that's fine. We eventually will transition that way over years, but it might take some time. So I open this one. It says have students either follow along with the notes while a teacher is presenting them, or have them go through them on their own and fill out the guided note handout. So here it says for Module 1, you're looking at covered that up. You're looking at slides 3 through 10. So when I come in here, these are the notes for the first module, and you can see it talks about those. And when I open up this Google link right here, it probably opens up the guided notes that you would want filled out. So you can see how it's all contained in these self-contained modules. Now remember, don't have to create everything. This is about collecting and curating first, and then creating if need be. But don't forget about on this hub that we do have this resource repository that has tons of open OER websites out there where you can find lessons and activities and stuff for you to check out. So before you think that you have to create everything, make sure you and your group are looking. And that really is the collective process of the whole department and the whole grade level, because we're about finding the resources that we think is best for our kids. But that's how you build out those modules. And when you're all said and done, this is a completed course, and you can see how great it is. It's really well done. You open up any unit 4. Here's your UBD doc. There's the summative assessment, and then any one of these modules for the unit. I open it up. There is the module flowchart. Here's your 3 transition tasks. Here's your links, your activities, your students, what they should be able to do, and this is your skill-based assessment, your quiz or formative assessment that everybody should be able to use, when all said and done. So that's really the resource part of it. It does take some time to go through this, and it takes some time to share, but once you start putting those things in, you'll see how valuable it is. Again, as always, if you have any questions, please contact any of the people below, and thank you, and enjoy the course development site.